Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another LoveDarts exclusive with the powerhouse, the heavy metal, head-turning tungsten warrior, Ryan Searle. Woo! Welcome, Ryan, to LoveDarts. Thank you for taking time to see us and speak to us this evening. Now, I've recently interviewed your work colleague, so to speak, the new kid on the block, the self-proclaimed greatest pub player of all time, Aaron B. How do you two get on?
Yeah, we get on really well. I mean, me, him, and Matt Edgar, we play a lot of practice games before the matches start on tour. And yeah, he's a really nice guy, interesting guy. I like to talk to him about his job, and he tells me a few stories about it. And yeah, I really like Aaron.
Yeah, because his job is interesting. Hopefully the viewers will have seen the interview, but I interviewed Aaron a couple of days ago as well, and he is a prison guard and does a lot of very dodgy stuff within the prison game. So give that a watch. But what's he really like? Dish the dirt.
No, he's just a nice guy. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah. He has told me to remind you that when you both played your first game together, he claims to have given you a bit of a scare.
Yeah, that was back in the summer series, I think.
It was, yeah.
I played on the first day. Yeah, he did play well, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's had some stinking draws the whole season. I know he's played Chizzy first round, Durrant, Mensa.
Yeah.
You know, he's always drawing seeds, so he's been a bit unlucky there. I think he's put in some good performances, but in the PDC, a good performance doesn't always get you a win.
It's true. It's true. But I think the thing is, if you're not winning, you're learning. And if you're playing, you know, the caliber of players that he's played against already, you know, that's you can't buy that kind of training. So I think it would do really well for him.
Yeah. And the thing is, where he's come from as well, he's not had any sort of middle ground. He's jumped straight from the playing in a pub to playing the best players in the world, and he hasn't really had much experience of that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. He said there was no tables left, so he went and sat with Peter Wright.
That's not a bad person to do.
He got the world champion and then the new kid on the block. I mean, that's great. Now, according to the PDC Order of Merit, you are 38th in the table right now, which is already an incredible achievement. But to be honest, I think there's still loads more to come from you. I mean, have you set targets for the next 6 months? Next year? What were you looking for?
Not really. I mean, the next goal is to get in the top 32. That's the main goal. I think I've easily got that in the locker. One of my main improvements that I know I can make on the tour is Euro tours. This is my 4th season as a pro, and I've only ever qualified for 2 Euro tours in 1 season. And that is, that's nowhere near good enough. And that's the main place where you earn your ranking money, So
yeah.
And also now being a seed for the Pro Tours, and I'll be a seed for the Euro Tour qualifiers as well. It makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And I love Euro Tours as well. I think I put a little bit too much pressure on myself when it comes to the Euro Tour qualifiers, because I want to qualify for them so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the main place where next season I'm looking to push on with, because you look at it, you get £1,000 for qualifying. You win your first game, you get 2,000. And if you're lucky enough to beat the seed, that's 3,000. You've got to reach a semi-final of the Pro Tours with 3,000. So there's massive places to gain on that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't think that you're unrealistic in next year being a big year for you. It's, looking at your performances, I think you've been a little bit unlucky, if anything. As you say, settling into it, entering some more of those bigger tournaments now with the position you're in, I think next year's gonna be a really, really good year for you.
I still think I'm relatively inexperienced when it comes to TV games, stuff like that. So there's plenty of room for improvement. And like
it's funny because you say that, but I feel like you've been around for a while. I mean, I've known about you for obviously quite a long time, but but you know, the performances are really coming together now. So you feel like you've kind of settled in now. It's taken, you know, Aaron's like, yeah, I'm feeling like I'm settling in now. I'm thinking, well, you know, you've got a lot of a lot of big players that you've played, so I can understand it.
I feel the main reason for my improvement and feeling more comfortable. I had my man cave that I'm in now built. That was about a year ago. And also getting contact lenses as well. That made a huge difference. I wore contact lenses for the first time at the World Championship last year.
Yeah.
And I feel that's just made a huge difference. Just being able to see a little bit better. I still can't see great mid, to be fair, but it's a lot better.
Was that a response in regards to, because I know that there was obviously a lot of controversy about whether or not that double had gone in, whether you'd seen it and things like that. So do you think
when I practice now, I very rarely practice with my contacts in. I just practice without them. And I literally can't see a thing. I don't know how I played for 11 years with no sort of glasses or contact lenses. Yeah, I mean,
are you short-sighted or long-sighted? Can you see distance or can you see up close?
No, I can't see distance.
Yeah, so it's short-sighted. I think
I can't see much, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm like minus 1.25, I think, on my left and minus 1 on my right. It's not a lot, but when you're looking at the dartboard, you know, when you get used to it, so you know you don't know any different. As soon as you put the contact lens, you're like, oh, geez.
Yeah. Well, I'm minus 1.75 in my right eye.
Okay.
Which is my dominant eye, obviously, because I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
I am on the left.
I'm dominant eye left, but I'm right-handed, which is, I think, same as, I think Phil Taylor's the same as well. It's the opposite eye from
I see.
But I don't think it, you know, hopefully it doesn't make too much of a difference. 1.75 isn't huge either. I mean, I've got friends, I think that I've got a friend who's literally blind as about, I think, on -8 or something ridiculous like that.
Really?
So,
Wow.
I don't feel too bad. But it's helping your game a lot now, and you adjust to it as well.
I haven't got to stop and ask, you know, is this in, is this? I mean, the first year I played in the World Championship, I didn't have any contacts or anything. I watch my games back on TV where I'm asking, is that a treble 20, is this and that? And it's like an inch below. I'm thinking, how am I asking if that's in or not? Absolutely terrible. I was just like,
so you watch it back and you're like, oh God, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's worse when it's on the TV because it's zoom right in it, but just like, for God's sake, how can you be asking if that's in or not when it's miles away? So
yeah,
that's just how blurry my eyes are. You know.
Now, obviously, I mentioned Aaron as a colleague, and the responsibility for that lies at the door of the fantastic pairing of Matt and Dom from Loxley Darts. Matt and Dom have signed you both for Loxley Darts, and I think it's fair to say that Loxley have achieved great things since their arrival on the scene.
Yeah, really great. I mean, I spoke to them through Matt last year or the year before. That was when they did the Pro Tour in Germany. And they picked us up from the airport. I never met them before, and we just got chatting. You know, really nice guys, and they were interested in sponsoring me, and just went from there, really.
Yeah, they're very approachable. I mean, I've spoken to them quite a few times. I think what they're doing with the Loxley brand, it seems to be such a, I mean, I know it's new, and obviously, you know, as you grow, you expect to lose sort of a little bit more of that personal touch. But it is a very, very personable company, and I think that the group of players that they've got on board as well seem to gel well. Aaron seems to think so anyway, with the banter that goes on in your WhatsApp groups, apparently.
Oh yeah, we have a laugh here.
Now, he did mention that you've got your WhatsApp group, but also Matt and Dom, they're just constant banter. When he first met them, I think they were having quite a few drinks that didn't end up stopping, and they enjoy the banter too. So, is there actually any time for darts to play when you're amongst them?
I haven't been involved in any of that. So.
Oh, I'm going to have to find out if that's true. I think I'll have to try and have a follow-up interview and find out. I mean, but that's what you want from a job, though. Lots of laughs, support, and backing, allowing you to get out there and do your best work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm in a very privileged position. You know, I don't see it as a job as such. I'm lucky that I'm able to do something that I love as a job. And like I say, you love it, you don't, it's not work, is it? You know, so
yeah, exactly.
I just come to the bottom of my garden in the man cave and just have a few hours practice, and you know, that's it really.
Do you do
not much of a hard life, is it?
No. It's just great. I mean, it's what a lot of us absolutely dream to, dream to be in that position. Obviously, Aaron has a part-time job. Do you do anything else outside of it, or are you fully focused?
No, I don't know. Just fully on darts.
Yeah, and that's the dream for a lot of people. And I think it's Dozer only recently, when he switched over to the PDC, finally sort of quit his job to focus on it. There's obviously a lot more money and opportunity in the PDC. So it's you're in a a fantastic position to be able to do that, and it's good for us because we want to see you playing at your best and having the opportunities to practice and give your full attention to it. So
there's still a few players that still work, isn't there? Like Johnny Clayton. I know Darren Webster still works.
And Dirk on the aubergine farm.
Yeah. I think it depends on the sort of person you are. I mean, if you haven't got a job, you're constantly thinking about darts, aren't you? Perhaps if you're not doing so well, that may not be a good thing. The work just takes your mind off the darts for a bit. But yeah, I mean, I find it alright. It's good.
Yeah. How much practice? Well, I'll try and hide this from Matt and Dom. How much practice do you tend to do on a daily basis?
It depends really. I mean, at the very start of lockdown, because it was just after I won the Pro Tour as well, and I thought, right, I'm just going to really smash it and just carry on, thinking that we're only going to be in it for a month, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Little did we know, 9 months later, we're hardly do that. I was down in the man cave doing 2-3 hours. I was putting little videos on my Facebook, doing little challenges for people to try and beat, and just having a bit of fun with it. Mm-hmm. But when we knew the tour wasn't going to start again very quickly, I was just sort of doing an hour a day, just keep my arm in. I feel like if I'm hitting everything I want to hit and feeling good, I don't really see why I should stand there for an extra
absolutely
3 hours. You know what I mean?
I mean, I did a training session with Wayne Mardle last year, and he said, you don't have to stand at the board for hours and hours on end. Have purposeful practice. And that's really, really key. I know that Matthew Edgar obviously has it in his videos as well. It's having a proper, purposeful practice. So, you can throw for 30 minutes and get more than people who have been throwing at the board for 3-4 hours, with no real target.
Flinging them at the board, that's not much good, is it? But
no, exactly.
I used to try and have a couple of friends around, a couple of nights a week, just play a few matches and play a few games. Just gets you more in the match rhythm rather than just throwing on your own. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a massive practicer, so that's always the way I've been. I mean, I practice a lot. I say I practice a lot. I mean, when I turn up at the tour, I'm always pretty much the last one indoor, but I'm always straight on the board then until the match starts. I don't really sit down a huge amount. And as long as I'm in the tournament, I'm normally on the board, just keeping my arm loose and keeping going.
No, that's fair. Now, what would you say is your best experience so far with the Loxley team?
Best experience with the Loxley team? I'd say probably when I first met Matt and Don, we went out. We had a chat and then we went out for a meal in the night, and we just had a good laugh and a good chat, talk about random things. And yeah, I mean, I haven't had much time to spend with Matt and Don really. And they come over every now and again. Obviously, with things as they are at the moment, they can't come over. I know they would have liked to come over for the Worlds.
Yeah.
Support. I mean, I'm going to the Worlds on my own next week, which is rubbish because my dad, my girlfriend, and all that, they love coming. That's their Christmas, going to the Worlds. They don't go to anything else, So, that's a bit rubbish. My little boy loves going as well.
It's not far from me. It's about 3.5 miles north from me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I went last year. It was brilliant. It's such a great venue.
It's about 2.5, 2 and 3/4 hours from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, with the whole testing thing, someone comes with me. in the car and I test negative and they test positive, then I'm out of the tournament, you know. So it's not.
Yeah. No, it's not worth it. No.
It's not worth the risk. So
yeah. No.
If I'm still in after Christmas, we'll see where we are and see if I get my girlfriend to come up for a game or something, depending on who can have the kids and that. But
yeah,
it's one of those really.
It's going to be a funny one this year. I mean, I have the PDC membership, so I can go through the priority and get priority tickets. And I was just thinking, do you know what? I think it might be better for me from home because the restrictions for the fans and things. But I'm so glad there's going to be fans there. I mean, you know, they'll shout loud enough for everyone, I'm sure, and spur you guys on. Do you think you play better with a crowd or without?
I think I prefer the crowd. After playing a few times with the crowd noise, it's a little bit weird. It, kind of replaces the noise, but it's not the same. And when you hit a 180 or you just miss a double, like there's kind of like a delayed reaction to it rather than one which is a little bit weird. But I suppose you've got to try and block that out.
I mean, I'm assuming it is the same as the audience hears. Exactly the same, right? They haven't put like what you hear and then they've dubbed it over. And
I guess so. I don't really know what they play over the TV, whether it's anything different.
I know they were kind of finding their feet when it first happened, and some of the players are like, yeah, it's really off-putting because it just doesn't match, or like sometimes it goes really loud, or like loads of strange technical glitches.
Who was I playing? I think it was at the grandstand. I was on for a 9 darter and I hit the back-to-back 180s and I hit the first treble. And I missed the next one, and then the crowd made a noise, and it totally took me by surprise. Weird.
You look around and
I'm like,
there's no one here. I really wanted to see that. I want to see someone look around with the crowd and just like. You expect it from someone like Dimitri or someone who's a little bit mischievous.
Dave Pallett or someone like that.
Sure. Yeah. Now, another fantastic new member of the Loxley Darts Massive, so to speak, is the young Zack Thornton, who helped design your most recent darts, which apparently combine 2 of your previous darts in a sort of hybrid design.
Yeah, I like Zack. He's a nice guy. Met him a few times. He's bought a few shirts for me to sign up to Coventry. And yeah, I mean, I sent him a couple of designs of my old sets of darts, and he sort of just made a set which was a hybrid of the 2. And yeah, I really like them. They're going well.
Yeah, I speak to Zack a lot outside of darts and stuff as well. Since getting to know him, he's a really nice guy. And I said, so how was it designing? For Ryan's darts, he said Ryan was so easy. Like Ryan's like, I've got sort of 2 darts, I quite like them both. Have a look and see what you think. And
I'm very laid back. So
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, he's done a fantastic job, and how are you getting on with those new darts? Do you think the new, well, I guess the new showings sort of speak for themselves, really? Are you fully comfortable with them now?
Yeah, I feel good with them. I mean, when I first got them, the grip wasn't as harsh as what my darts before were. That took a little bit of getting used to, but I mean, my old darts were probably a bit too grippy from the start, so it took a bit of wearing in for me to feel comfortable. So with these, I probably feel comfortable, straight out of the case when they're new. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, what features are most important that you put forward to Zack for the dart? Because I mean, obviously, 32 grams is what people are going to be shouting at me, going like, you have the heaviest darts, and you must be tired of talking about it. But I mean, what are the most important features, first of all?
Yeah, as long as they're 32 grams, I don't mind what they're like. I like more of the. I don't like straight barrel. I like more of the rounded
sort of torpedo or bomb sort of style, or?
Like a bomb sort of shape rather than the straight barrels. So I used to throw a straight barrel, and I used to find that I'd forget how I grip the dart. It was weird. With the more of the bomb sort of barrel, I'm more consistent with how I grip it.
Yeah, you can find that balance. How did you get to 32 grams?
Well, it's funny, really. I started with a 22, 23 gram Andy Fordham dart. When I very first started, I bought from JJB Sports back in the day. And
when was that? Do you remember?
oh god, I've been playing for 12 years, so it was about 12, 13 years ago. I used to throw them. They're quite a short barrel. I used to throw them with short nylon stems and pair flights.
Yeah.
How the hell I used to throw them, I do not know. My dad really likes to be throws them. And I went from there, I think it was more of a gimmick, really. I was like, oh, I want to throw like really short darts. You know. And then I went from that to 31 gram heavy darts. So that was more of the gimmick then. I was just like, I'm going to throw really heavy darts because no one else throws heavy darts.
And where'd you get those 31 gram darts from?
I think I got them on eBay.
Yeah. Did you specifically go, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to try and impress the ladies. I'm going to go
I like the shape of them. Right, so I would go for them. I was playing really well with them, and then I went for a spell where I was just buying all sorts of different sets of darts, just messing around, like a set of Gary Andersons, Terry Jenkins ones, all different ones. And then I found a set in my local pub, which some people have left behind. And I hit a 140 with the first 3 darts. I thought, I'll use them. I think they're about 24 grams, really old, like looked really like haggard old things. And I used them for about 4 years, I think, something like that. And I got bored of them, started throwing those heavy darts again, hitting absolutely everything. And then, you know, I stuck with the heavy darts from then. I got a good friend called Trevor Perry. He's he was a Devon captain for years. He's made 215 appearances for Devon County. I told him I'd change back to 31 grams, and he was like, "Why are you doing that? No way." And then I was playing for Devon A at the time, and my first game with them, I had like a 32 average or a 31 average. And he was like, "Oh well, what do I know then?" You know? Yeah. I stuck with them from there. So.
I think it's great. I mean, I'm due to try some very soon, and I'm just curious to see how much difference there is, because I throw 23 gram, which I guess is fairly standard. I have got used to quite light darts. I tried to, at the moment I'm throwing a 20 gram Kita Ono solo dart. So yeah, 23 though is where I like it. But I mean, have you ever tried the 12 gram Stephen Buntings by any chance?
No, I haven't. I wouldn't mind giving them a go.
I would love to get you. Yeah, I'd love to get you two together. Obviously, the lightest and heaviest, and switch darts and see. I think
that is definitely a thing for the darts show. Is for me and him to play a leg against each other with each other's darts. That's definitely
100%. If that happens, I'm watching. I'll record it and everything. I think that'll be really good.
But to be fair, a lot of people on the tour, all the pros have tried my darts, pretty much all of them, and a lot of them like it.
Yeah.
Peter Wright, first throw 180 like it would. And who else is there?
I can imagine Red Dragon going, "Oh no, he's going to want to know."
I know, yeah. I can't remember, it was just before, like the Premier League, because it was last year, not this year. And I said, "Oh, you can buy them off me if you like, because I know you like switching darts, so you just hit 180 them." And Devon Peterson, he quite likes it. Chizzy hated him. His flicky, like little flick at the end of his throw that he does, they go all over the place. Yeah, most people like him. I think Adrian Lewis liked them in the end for him. But
they're hugely popular on the second-hand market, on Facebook and stuff. Oh, and they were so excited when obviously Loxley were bringing out. They're like, "Oh yeah, you know, we're definitely going to get these, and I'm going to buy a set and put them aside." You know, I speak a lot to all the sort of big sellers and people to get sort of ideas and things off people. But the older Ryan Searles, you can't get hold of them anymore. It's so hard to get hold of.
Well, I had things back in the day. I had so many different sets made. I can't remember how many sets I've made, to be honest. But it's quite a few. When my girlfriend's mum works at my school, my little boy goes to, and the bloke that delivers the meat, because she's the head cook at the school, he delivers the meat to her, and he's massively into darts, and he's like a huge supporter of me, and I didn't realise, and he didn't realise that she was my girlfriend's mum. So obviously they got talking about darts and he's just bought one of my new shirts, and he had my very first darts I ever had made, and he was at the pub playing, and he went to get a drink at the bar, and he turned his back, and someone nicked him, and so obviously he didn't have any darts, and I seen him today. I don't know how long ago it was, but I seen him today. I've never met him before in my life, and he's been a massive supporter of me, and I knew he was going to be at school today, and he's always there on a Friday. So I took him up one of my heavy metal darts I had just before these ones that I made. So I took him up a set for him to have today. You know, that's a merry.
But it was made up.
Which is good.
Oh, amazing! I bet he was absolutely over the moon with that. It's nice little touches like that, you know. I said to Aaron, I said, this is probably one of the most accessible sports in the world. You know, you when you go as a fan, you can literally, you know, when you're if you're on the table section, that you can see the people coming down, you can shake their hands, you know, that it's really close to the fans, and the fans are amazing. I don't think there's any other, you know, obviously you've got football being the biggest sport in England, but there's something, you know, you've got the away team and the home team. There's always that sort of argument. Whereas at the darts, you have the table banter, you have the stands always, you know, bantering, but it's always in good spirits. It's just banter.
Yeah, it's always a good laugh. I mean, I went to the Premier League down West Point a couple of times. This was before I really took darts seriously. Didn't really enjoy it that much. I'm not really a fan of like the rowdy crowds and everything like that, but you know, it is good. It's a very good experience. Someone that's never been to an event like that, it's a massive eye opener about how the crowd is, how involved they are, and everything. You know, it's a great experience. I'd recommend it to anyone that's never been to a darts event before. You know, it's not for everyone. You might go and not like it, but I think a lot of people, you know, enjoy a good night out.
Yeah. I love all the fancy dress and everything. It's just, I mean, you know, you do get some people who don't even, I think, watch the darts. They just want to get dressed up and have some beers and cheer and have fun. But I remember looking over my shoulder, and there's a policeman and a nun. Obviously not properly, but I'm looking over my shoulder, and they're going, "Have you ever seen a nun down a pint? Have you ever seen a nun down a pint?" You know, so he's down this pint, 1, 2, 3. Have you ever seen a nun down 2 pints? You know, like, oh God, and the pressure. I think Batman we had on my other shoulder, I think he did 9 pints before he's like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not doing it anymore. And that was in the space of literally singing the song, so it must have been about 4 minutes or something. I'm like, yeah, he's not going to make it through.
No, I'll be on the floor after that.
Yeah. But it is good fun, and if you haven't been, guys, please do go and see it. Obviously, we've got the World Championships around the corner, so you've got an opportunity to go and see that. Tickets are hopefully still on sale. I haven't checked whether they're sold out yet. Hopefully, it's going to be slightly less people in there because of the COVID situation, but go and give it a watch. Now, my team in Suffolk are called the Moreton Hall Troopers. Some of the troopers are a big fan of yours, and I think they would appreciate me showing you the troopers shirt, which is dart related. And you, as a heavy metal, well, are you a heavy metal fan? Because, you know, you said you don't like crowds.
Yeah, I am. I was listening to Iron Maiden today when I was practicing. To be fair, I listen to most music, to be honest. I'm not solely a heavy metal fan, and, you know, I hate pop music and all that. Yeah, I listen to Iron Maiden, a bit of Black Sabbath, like the older stuff. Disturbed was probably my main band growing up. Really like System of a Down. You know, that's a bit weird for some people, but, you know, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other bands. Papa Roach, their older stuff. Yeah, so, you know, I'm really into heavy metal. We were saying last night, obviously my walk-on song is Paranoid
Black Sabbath, yep.
And we were saying that obviously darts is a massive thing, and, you know, millions and millions of people watch it. That I wonder if it's got back to Ozzy Osbourne, that someone walks on to one of his songs. I wonder if that's ever a thing that happens.
How did you settle on Paranoid? I mean, it's a good song, so I mean, it's kind of lends itself to it, but
yeah, I mean, I found it really hard to choose a song. Really, I just felt like that was probably one that more people would recognise rather than me walking out to something that people heard it for. Oh, what the hell's that? So I thought that was something that's probably a bit more recognisable.
And how did Heavy Metal come about as a nickname?
It was more to do with darts, how heavy they were, and obviously the heavy metal music and the long hair and everything. That was, and the tattoos. That was. I felt like that was the perfect nickname, really.
32-gram darts, heavy metal. Simple as that.
I think I had that nickname in my head for a little while, and then I was speaking to Dan Dawson after one of my games in the Worlds, and he said the same thing about heavy metal, and I thought, well, if he's thinking that as well, then maybe that might be a good one to go with. So,
yeah,
we stuck with it, because I was pretty much the only person on the tour without a nickname, and I'd always have like a really plain shirt and a bit boring, and so I knew I had to get a nickname eventually, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, talking about your shirt, it's a fantastic new shirt. I mean, huh?
I love the new shirt. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it a little while back when I was chatting away with Matt and Dom, and I was like, this is gonna sell well. This looks really cool. I think the graphics look good on it. The colors are good. It's a good seller.
Yeah.
Now, does your song get you motivated for the game, or does it sort of just chill you out? You know, you feel comfortable. It's your song. You know, right? Okay, this is me. I'm ready to go on.
Yeah,
some people get quite anxious before they go on, and it's sort of you know, their song relaxes them. Other people, it's like you watch Dirk, and it's like he gets rid of his energy so that he can go up there and do what he wants to do. You know, it's so good.
It's cringy, isn't it? Like, it's cringy. But, yeah.
I love it because it's just fun. You know, you can see him doing it almost like tongue in cheek as well, and he stops and sort of looks at the refs and everything, and then sort of like does it to them and then shakes their head.
Yeah, it's all fun, isn't it? You know,
it is.
People enjoy it, they do.
But you know, it's nice to have, you know, you got all different types of personalities in the darts as well. And you know, I think it makes more for the spectacle of the show as well. So
yeah, nobody's saying everyone's different. You know, that's the way that he enjoys looking on, and maybe that makes him feel comfortable, and that, you know, that's up to him. I mean, a lot of the time, especially at the Worlds, to distract me from sort of the situation and where I am is I'll talk to the security that's next to me, you know, stuff like that. I'm good friends with one of the security called Mark, and I'm normally chatting to him, you know, taking the mick out of him or something, just to take my mind off of the whole situation for a minute.
yeah. But then when you're up there,
when you're up there, you're fully focused, try and block everything out.
What about when you're walking back? What about when you're walking back? You've retrieved your darts. You go over to the table. You're gonna have a drink. I mean, I've been there before, so it's like, you know, hey Ryan, how's it going? You know, trying to get their attention.
Yeah. Sometimes you get people right at the front, they're shouting to you. Sometimes that's all right. It sort of depends what frame of mind you're in and how the match is going. I think if it's going well, you might sort of give them a little look and, you know, a tiny wave or something. But this is, you know, I think everyone's just sort of different. So it's worse on a Euro tour when you play on a Friday afternoon and there's like 12 people in the crowd. Because any little voice then you pick it out straight away, and that can sometimes be a bit off-putting, but that's all, you know, that's all part of what you need to get used to, you know.
It's the bigger noise merges, but the smaller crowds.
Yeah, you can stick out that voice. They're like trying to be annoying, you know, but just one of those things.
Yeah. Now let's move on to darts. Obviously, your recent Pro Tour win, amazing. March, how was that?
Yeah, great. I look back at that interview after I won that Pro Tour, and I'm thinking, oh, that's so cringy, that interview, because I just didn't know what to say. I was just gobsmacked, you know. I couldn't believe what I'd just done. I knew I always had that in me for sure, you know. probably a little bit critical on myself sometimes. Don't give myself enough credit.
I mean, the field that you went through in the final, brilliant
Exactly.
game.
I mean, like, I beat Gerwen Price first round. I was going for the names today, actually. I think they're all right. Gerwen Price first round, Michael Barnard, Josh Payne, Glen Durrant, Michael Smith, Jeffrey Deswan in the semi, and then obviously Michael Van Gerwen in the final. And obviously to beat Michael in the final was, you know, that's the icing on the cake. You know, that's
so walk. They're all easy.
That's the lead, you know. So yeah,
fantastic. Yeah,
and I was thinking, like in the match, before the match started, you know, there's no pressure on me. No one's expecting me to win. Obviously, Michael was using his new darts as well at the time. I was thinking it's maybe perhaps not playing as well as what he can do. But yeah, I thought, you know, you've got nothing to lose, just go out and try and get the win. And I was thinking, as I was throwing my darts, you know, you've had the perfect day today, and you've got the perfect opponent in the final just to top it off. You know, if you can win that, you know, great. And lucky enough, I came with the win, and absolutely over the moon with that. I think that's a massive achievement.
It was massive, and I think, you know, your scoring ability, you know, it started to really turn heads, and I think that was really your sort of, hey, I'm here to play and I'm here to win, and it you know, we were thrilled when we saw the results, and you know, have you felt a change in your game from there? Has it taken you to that next level, achieving that?
Maybe a little bit. I think the whole COVID thing sort of knocked me back a little bit, because obviously I won that, and then the whole momentum from that was gone, really, because obviously with a massive break and everything, which was.
You had a home tour win as well, though, recently.
Yeah, I won the home tour was very hit and miss for me. It's sort of how I wake up in the morning, how I feel, how that's going to go, you know, because it's hard. I find it. I don't want to sound hard, because obviously I'm thankful for the opportunity that he gives people to play, but I just find it a little bit boring in comparison to playing a proper.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, the same as people, you know, you're doing a job at the end of the day, and it's the same as people working from home. It's like, you know, are you really as motivated when you're working from home? You know, sometimes it gets a bit boring. Sometimes, you know, you don't have that same kind of level of focus and enjoyment from it. So, yeah,
No.
Completely understandable.
No, the killer instinct isn't always there when I'm in that. That's something I need to work on as well, because if Phil Taylor was playing that, no matter who he's playing, he'd want to win, you know?
Yeah.
If he was playing 3 amateurs that just turned up just for a bit of fun, he'd want to smash them all, you know? Whereas that's me, I'd probably let him win.
You can't say that. Now, I mean, looking at the Worlds, you've got a reasonably nice draw. I mean, no disrespect, obviously, to the other players, but I mean, it's not as bad, especially considering, you know, your recent results and your recent form. Your quarter, you've got Danny Lorby prelim, Jeffrey Deswan, and possibly Ian White hybrids. It's you know, based on your form and that, you might go into them as favourites.
Yeah, I don't know much about my first opponent. Same as last year, really. Not that interested in knowing who they were. Really, I didn't look them up to, you know, to even see what they look like or how well they could play. Not really interested in that, to be honest. I just want to get up there and play my game and just go from there, really.
Exactly. I mean, and that's not disrespect to them. That's simply a mindset of a lot of people who play darts. It's like, look, you know, if I'm focusing on what they're doing, I'm not focusing enough on what I'm doing. So some people go, don't care who I play, I just go up there, play my game.
Yeah, exactly.
Fancy your chances?
Yeah, I feel like this year I'm playing as well as ever. So, you know, why not have a good run this year, you know? So I'm feeling good. I mean, if you look at, I've played in 2 World Championships before. And you look at the 2 people I've lost to. You know, I lost to Michael Smith, who went on and got lost in the final that year, and I lost to Gary Anderson last year. Heartbreaking defeat that was for me. Tough on the day that was. Obviously 3-1 up, and there's 3 darts to win the first set as well. And the break just came at the wrong time. Like, I went off stage, just thinking to myself, like, I'm 3-1 up against my hero, like, and I just let that whole thing just overcome me. I played like an absolute potato after that. But to be fair to Gary, you know, he's got that experience. You know, he's been around for 20 years, and he played very well even after being 3-1 down. He didn't look phased at all, and he played well.
You have that experience now, though, having been there and gone, right, okay, you know, I've been there, my hero's there, you know, you've done that now. Next time it happens, you're like, right, I know what this was like last time. I'm not letting that happen again.
Yeah. Well, and then he played like he did at the Grand Slam against me. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Typical Gary, typical Gary. Hopefully, that is my future practice partner, though. So I'm looking forward to that. If we can arrange next year, hopefully he gets his knee sorted out and can start hitting the practice ball together. I think that'll be a huge help for me.
Yeah, because a lot of people have spoken about, obviously, MVG's, you know, loss in form and stuff, but they don't talk so much about Anderson. I know that he's struggling, and it's probably quite a good thing they're focused on MVG, because you know, I've seen Gary in the interviews as well. He probably you know, I've told you, my leg's shot. You know, it's a shame. You know, it's another thing when you're just not performing because you're not interested, but when you've got those sort of physical things holding you back, it must be massively frustrating.
Yeah, he's always been my favourite player, just the way he throws, and when he's on it, his scoring is, you know, is unbelievable. It's seconds to none, in my opinion. People always used to say, "Oh, he can't hit a double," but you know, you don't win what he's won without being able to hit a double, do you? So, yeah, massive respect for Gary. Really nice guy.
There's some games where I was like, well, you know, double 10, it's in every time. Every time it was in, I think.
And tops as well. Like, he's unbelievable in tops. When he's on the floor, he's right in the middle every time. Yeah. No one's going to stop him when he's playing like that.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. You got a better draw than Matthew Edgar.
Yeah.
His looks, yeah, a little bit tougher.
Well, he was saying that it's a bit more of a there'll be more of a rhythm to the game than the Labanowski's game, but I don't think Kuyvenhoven's a particularly fast player from what I remember. When I've played it before, and he's a very good player as well. Yeah, very good. I think, has he played Van Gerwen twice or 3 times on tour and he's never lost to him?
I don't know offhand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of the stats. I think he's never lost to Van Gerwen.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good stat to be honest. Not many people can say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to be sharing a room with Matthew?
What, the Worlds?
Yeah.
Don't think so.
You've had enough of him finally.
Not that. I think I play on Thursday, my first game, but he doesn't play his first game till Saturday. But I think if I win my first round, I'll be playing Saturday night. He's playing Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So we'll more likely meet up then and have a throw or whatever.
I know it's moved around because he's changed his. He was going to do a Christmas Eve stream, and I think he's now changed it to Christmas Eve because the games have fallen. So
yeah. Yeah, I wish him all the best at the Worlds. I mean, obviously he's played Darius the last 2 years, and that is by no means an easy draw. Darius is a great player, absolutely great player. You see that when he upset Barney last year. I wasn't surprised by that at all. No, to be honest, the form going into that tournament, I'd have picked Darius every time.
Yeah. It does seem to be a theme at the moment. The Loxley boys getting some tough draws and having to deal with what happens.
There's no easy draws in the PDC, really. You know,
exactly.
It's just one of them. You just got to take it on the chin, and you just got to get out there and play your game. You know, you've got to be confident in your own ability, and just go from there, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the things I joked about with Aaron, and obviously I watch a lot of Matt's channel and speak to Matt quite a lot. He's obviously a big part of the darts YouTube world, and one of the things he was particularly proud of and talks about quite a lot is that. How do I phrase this? Aaron said once he farted at the oche and cleared 3 oches.
Yeah, that's not even exaggerating. It was terrible. And the funny thing was, is we were on the very end board as well. So imagine if he was in the middle.
Yeah.
He would have cleared like 3 or 4 either side. He cleared the whole place.
And knowing Matt in the way that he is, it's not going to be a oh god, it wasn't me. He'll be, yep, that's mine. I'm claiming that.
Oh yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, as soon as he does it, he's like, that was me. That was me.
Proud moment, more proud than ashamed. Does he have any worse habits than that?
No, not that I can think of. It's fine. It's pretty much non-stop here.
Yeah,
I'd say something. I'm not a patch on him.
I watched the stream when you were rooming together, and then Duzzy came in as well, and you boys.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I like Duzzy. I didn't expect Duzzy to come to me there. Yeah, fair play to him.
They have good banter forwards and backwards, and it's fun to see that stuff. I mean, the YouTube darting community is growing and growing and growing because people are more and more interested in darts. I do a lot of reviews, interviews, streaming and stuff like that. It's really, really growing. But people, like I said, there's no other sport I think that you have that kind of level of being able to connect to the players and stuff. So having a player like Matthew doing a stream and having yourself and Does It come on, we're all in the live chat going, oh yeah, can we answer a question? And it's just great to see people being people.
Yeah, I think what's good about Max as well is because he's a player, he gets all the sort of behind the scenes access which people don't normally get to see, to see how professional the PDC is behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's a great thing for people to see.
I loved seeing down the corridor and you see all of these straps on the boards. Obviously, everyone's got the unicorn. So you're in a hotel, or I think it was during the COVID one, so everyone's in basically the same hotels. You're just strap. No strap on that, so that means someone's got a stand. But yeah,
I've never taken a dartboard with me.
Huh?
I've never taken a dartboard with me to a hotel.
Have you not? No.
No. Do enough practice at the venue. I don't want to be in the room throwing as well.
Sure. I think it's everyone's got their own practice routine and whether they want to and whatnot. And like you say, if you're getting their last bit,
you can be walking down to breakfast early in the morning. Sometimes you're walking down the corridor, you can hear darts thudding against the door, and you think, "Bloody hell, you're keen." Like I say, everyone's different. So.
No, absolutely. Now let's have a look. Now, does he ever try and get you to prank Duzzer, or does Duzzer try to get you to prank him as sort of the middleman?
No.
That
doesn't get me involved in any of that, to be fair.
It's a good little...
I don't want any of the repercussions that, I don't want to start any of that, so I just stay out of all that, really.
You do wonder if you give in one time, then it just opens the door like Pandora's box with Matt.
Yeah.
He'll do a whole series. He's got a new channel which is Edgar's Playground.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, pranking Jodie and stuff. You just think if you open the door, you could be a feature on that, and you're just like, I don't want that.
I'm not starting that. Hell no. No, definitely not.
Now, before we finish off, I've got a few questions from a few fans. I didn't tell too many people that I was doing the interview with you because I thought we'd keep it as a little surprise for them. So I have got a few questions from fans. I think you've answered some of them already, but I'll go through a few that I picked out now. Does Matt Edgar say EdgarTV in his sleep?
Not that I've heard, but he might. You never know.
Did you consciously get your eyesight corrected after the claimed double spat?
No. The eyesight was more to do with driving at night. When I was driving at night, all of a sudden, it seemed to come on all of a sudden. I don't know whether I just wasn't driving at night, but I was driving home from town one night, and where I live, there's no street lights or anything, and I just felt like I couldn't see the hedge on the side of the road, and I think if my lights aren't on full beam, I just felt like I couldn't see where I was going, so I thought I can't, and I've got 2 young kids, I can't drive with them in the car. I can't see, so that was the main reason why my eyes sort of.
Has anyone tried to cut your hair for a bet?
No, they have not.
Do you love the darts referee?
Darts referee. Yeah, what's he called? Is it Jack?
Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I haven't had much to do with him. I've watched a few of his videos. I hear he's into video games. I like to play a few video games. So I think Zach was trying to sort us out to play Fortnite or Call of Duty one night, so we'll get onto that one night.
Yeah, no. He said he's been speaking to me and said, yeah, you know, we need. I want to get everyone together and we'll all have a proper game and that. So,
you play?
Well, I've got an Xbox One, so I don't know like about cross compatibility with some of these things. Yeah. I used to game a lot when I was younger. I played Counter-Strike 1.6 on and you know Call of Duty and things like that. But
I've got an Xbox One, so
there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to message me.
I don't have the most recent Call of Duty. I had the one just before, and I bought the purple bullets.
Oh yeah,
expansion just because they look so cool. I was like, yeah, I just want to hit someone and they glow purple. So I think I end up spending something. You know, you end up spending like 10, 20 quid as an expansion thing. You're like, what am I doing?
Have you ever played Fortnite or not?
No, I haven't. I think it would be up my street. Huh?
It's free to download. You'll have to download it.
Is it on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Give it a go. I'm more than up for playing.
And the latest Call of Duty as well. I've been playing that lately. That's the best Call of Duty for a while, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I lost a bit of love for Call of Duty for a while, but that's really good.
Yeah, I think it got a little bit. I was disheartened when they started having backpacks and expansion things that basically took it away from being, you know, proper skill in shooting and things. You know, some of the early series was amazing, and no, I completely agree. And yeah, I'll get on that. I'll message you when I've downloaded it, and we'll do you watch any other darts YouTubers?
No, I watch Matt. I watched a few of the darts referee videos. That is about it, really. I'm sad to say.
That's all right. He's done some silly stuff. The TheDartsRef, like shooting a crossbow at the dartboard and stuff. And obviously during lockdown, you know, people are wanting content and stuff. So he put out a lot and has just hit his 20,000 followers. So I'm thrilled for that. Yeah,
I've seen a video that done really well on his channel where he said that he practiced like a pro for.
Yeah,
I think that done well for him.
That's his most popular video. I think it had something crazy like 180,000 views, or maybe even more. He's done very, very well. He actually, my parents, where I grew up, were in Suffolk, and in a place called Bury St Edmunds, and Jack actually is in the same league. I used to play against him in some of the open tournaments and things. And he lives 4 minutes behind my parents' house, you know, and you've got like him there, obviously when I'm back there, and you've got another Matador Darts is there, and there's another few people around. So it's, you know, it's quite a lot of YouTubers and darts that go around in the area, and there's some good players also in that area. I remember turning up to I think my first tournament, and I said to a friend of mine, I've got someone called Jason Mould. Is he any good? And they're like, yeah, I think he won this tournament last year. I was like, oh, great, okay. I think I turned up to another tournament. Ryan Meikle, you heard of him? Yeah, you'll beat him, no worries. I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. He's
a good player, Ryan. Very good.
Yeah. And then I got Nathan Derry in another one. I was like, this is great. I'm getting some fantastic draws, but you know, you can't get experience like that. So, like I said, if you're not winning, you should be learning.
Did you find Nathan Derry's throw off-putting at all?
In all honesty, and I'll be completely honest about this, I went over to my friend and said, I'm going to smash this guy. He's got the weirdest throw in the world. You know, his technique, you know, I think they call him slingshot or something. And they went, do you know who he is? I was like, no. And they went, well, he's got a tour card. I'm like, really? I said, he's doing nothing at the dartboard. Oh my God, when I started playing him, all of a sudden it started going and I was like, fair play, Nath. Fair play.
Well, I can't watch him play when I play him. It's a weird throw.
Yeah, if you're standing behind him, he's got this whole body rotation that sort of happens with it. So I can imagine you. You know, I can't think whether I was put off at the time because it's been a while since I played him, but I can imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Would you ever do a charity hair chop?
I probably would, yeah.
Good.
Probably would. Yeah, I would. And I'd probably do it at Worlds as well.
Yeah.
As long as we could earn a decent amount of money for charity.
It would have to be decent because it is trademark, and I think it would be a shame if it wasn't a decent amount of money they'd raise. But, have you heard Paranoid live?
I have not. That's something I'd like to. I've never been to. This is a sad thing to admit for someone nicknamed Heavy Metal. He's covering his eyes. I've never been to a concert in my life. Never been to a concert.
There we go, guys.
Yeah.
Don't send the hate, okay? We need we want him motivated for this world.
That is a sad thing that I had to admit there, but I've never been to a concert.
Hey, maybe Matt and Dom, when they're a bit drunk, you know, that let's go to a concert.
I think that's more just the sheltered life that I've lived out in the countryside.
Yeah. How did you get into darts?
Got into darts when I was a kid. I always used to have a dartboard in my room when I was like, I don't know, 10, 11. I used to go through spells where I'd have a couple of weeks where I'd throw every day and then not throw for a year. Just go through spells, and me and my dad would just, you know, have a bit of fun practicing. Up to when I was about 14, 15, I would still have those spells. I was hitting 180s even then, but I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was something that perhaps everyone did. So I really wish I was maybe pushed into taking it seriously back then. But I got back into it when I was 21, started playing for my local pub team. There was a guy that I always knew growing up. He always used to think he was really good at darts. I made it my aim to beat him because he used to hate losing. And I progressed quite quickly. And as I got better, when I used to turn up to the pub, he'd be throwing, playing with people, and he would just leave. He wouldn't even play me because he just couldn't handle getting like smashed. So you know, that was my main motivation, is to smash him.
Bye.
Went from there, really.
How has lockdown been for you?
Lockdown, I don't want to say I've enjoyed it, because obviously it's not been a great time for everyone, but my girlfriend did all my homeschooling for my little boy, and I was just keeping our little girl occupied out of the way while she did all that. Yeah, I think we've got some good memories from lockdown. You know, we used to go out for walks every day, just around our village. We've got a nice little circle where we walk around like the countryside.
It's not all doom and gloom. You know, I know that there's a lot of people. There's been a lot of deaths. There's been a lot of things going on, but I mean, there's been a lot of opportunities for people to connect. A lot of opportunities, especially for darts and things like that. Some people have really, you know, excelled during that time. They've had, you know, a little bit of time off work, focus on themselves, focus on, you know, others. It's understandable.
I do feel sorry for the people that have struggled financially through this, and you know, perhaps lost businesses, and you know, very hard for people. Yeah, and I kind of pinch myself being in a privileged position that I am, where, you know, I haven't got to worry financially about stuff like that. So
yeah. No, it's been a strange time. It's been very, very hard.
3 or 4 years ago, if I was in that same position, I don't know how I would have got through lockdown. You know, so,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, pinch myself and you know, just not take where I am for granted. You know. So.
No, 100%, 100%. Would you rather be in a room with Matt farting or does a snoring?
Probably Matt Fine.
Yeah, I think once you're asleep, you're not going to really pay attention.
Well, yeah. I'm one of those where, obviously, there's 2 single beds in a hotel room, and I normally spread them out so they're quite far apart. So I don't.
That won't stop him. That's just a challenge, right?
I don't mind the noise of it. You know, farts are always funny. I've never really smelled them in the room. That's all right. Rather than
What's Ryan's home setup?
Home setup.
I can obviously see you got your you got a Blade 5 board there with a
got the Target Corona.
Target Corona and was it just a normal like a Winmore surround or something?
Yeah, it was just a plain one. I got the Loxley stickers on there.
Indeed. Do you have any prototype darts or anything around the area, or?
Yeah, well, if you were to look in this room now, it's an absolute mess. Just in the process of doing it up. This blue wall here is going to be painted black.
Yeah.
It's going to have heavy metal stencils on it with a few skulls and that.
Nice.
They're just in the process of that. I haven't got any blinds over the windows yet, which is a bit rubbish. But
what kind of oche are you going to have?
I don't know. I've just got a bit of wood screwed into the floor at the moment. I'm not really fussed about having too posh an oche. Because generally it's just me on my own, you know. So
yeah.
I have a few friends over on this table I'm on now. Usually I'll have 2 friends over with a laptop on the table, they'll do NO1 while us 2 are throwing, and you know, that's perfect. I love it.
Good stuff. Do you play any instruments yourself?
No.
You might see him actually put a ukulele in the background to try and be a little bit rock and roll. I mean, ukulele is probably the least rock and roll thing ever.
I don't know if I want to admit this, but I used to play the recorder when I was at school.
Play the recorder? You don't have a choice when you're at school, though.
Primary school. Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
What's your favourite movie?
Favourite movie? That is a hard one.
Or if not favourite movie, what's one of the a movie that you're very fond of?
A movie I like recently, because I'm a bit of a gaming nerd, is Ready Player One.
Oh my God. So Ready Player One is literally, I've been telling Dartwolf, in fact. You've heard of Dartwolf?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, he's like this mystical character that no one quite knows who he is, from America, who has been doing lots of like giveaways and everything during the lockdown period, and lots of the darting community, the YouTube darting community and whatnot. And I've been saying you have to watch Ready Player One. Now, obviously, we're similar age. I think I'm a little bit older than you, but that sort of Stranger Things, 80s sort of, you know, lots of iconic stuff. Ready Player One for me, I was like, I came out of the cinema, I was like, I might go again and rewatch that. That was superb. And
yeah, I love that film. I watched it a couple of times. I only watched it recently. I know it's been out a while, but I think it's only recently come on Netflix.
It has, yeah.
And my mate said, "Oh, it's just come on Netflix. You've got to watch that." And I watched it. I watched it a couple of times. But I really like it.
Yeah. I actually, I've just, I went over 1,000 subscribers recently, and I thought, you know, I'm going to do a giveaway. But I'd thought about it before I got to my 1,000 subscribers. So for the last few videos, I put in a little Easter egg.
Oh, yeah.
And I've then like created a Google form and said, right, okay, you've got a few questions to answer, where they popped up, what numbers they were hidden behind. And they go into a drawer, and obviously we'll win a set of darts and case and all little bits and pieces. But it was inspired from Ready Player One, which I was just it was so much fun. So I've got a lot of love for that answer. A lot of love.
And another film, which my little girl loves watching, is Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, no, I love that as well. I'm coming over to yours for movie night.
That's a kids' film, but I quite enjoy watching that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna wreck it. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
like
really
that's a lockdown memory, that is for sure. When that ever comes on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some, obviously the Ready Player One is half animated, half film. But when I first, I think when I first saw the trailer, I didn't see some of the references and stuff, and thought I'm not really hugely into my animated movies. But I've got a lot of friends who are really into it. They said, you have to give this a watch. Go to the cinema. Brilliant, just loved it. And even Wreck-It Ralph, and I enjoyed watching the Lego movie. I think when that first came out, they had like the Batman character throwing a spanner 1,000,000 times at this thing, and it finally hits, and he goes, "First time." You're like, just a little bit of.
I only recently started watching some of like the Marvel films and that, like Endgame and
Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah. But my mate was raging at me because I think I watched Endgame before I watched Infinity War and stuff like that.
Ryan, no, no.
So like, I just like downloaded film just to watch on the plane while I'm flying to like Euro tours or whatever.
I'm trying to do this so people get to know you and big you up. And so far you've said you don't go to the rock concerts. Then you confess to that, Favorite food?
Favorite food? I have a lot of Chinese in that when we're away. Me and Matt. Do like KFC though. That's probably my favorite, I'll say.
My dad's a huge KFC fan.
Yeah.
He'd be like, yeah, okay. Order a bucket. I'm like, well, there is 3 of us. He said, no, that's just mine. Who's your darting hero?
Gary Anderson, 100%. Before I probably started taking darts seriously, I always used to watch Gary, and always my favorite player, just how fast he was, just when he was in his rhythm, obviously how good he was. Before he's even in the PDC, I used to watch his game where he beat Phil Taylor in the final of the World Darts Trophy. Yeah, Gary Anderson by mine. I've massive respect for Phil as well. Obviously, Phil, but.
I went with a few friends. I mentioned this actually in Aaron's interview, but it's just too funny to not mention. Now, I trained originally as an actor, and so I've met quite a few celebrities, and I had friends who were like kids of celebrities and stuff. So I've always been kind of amongst it, but I didn't really. For me, I was kind of always in it, so I didn't really do. I wasn't really starstruck or anything, but. We went to Subway before we were at an exhibition in Norwich, and we come from this Subway, and my friend said, if you go around the back, there's a chance as we're walking around, you might see some of the players entering, And this car comes past, blacked out windows, but you can see in the front. And I was like, I recognise that guy there. And my mate goes, that's Phil Taylor's bodyguard. And he got out, and Phil's got out, and we're scrambling for our phones, and we were, Phil. We're trying to record. I mean, I've got the worst blurred recording of some tiny older guy walking away from us and sort of like giving half a wave, and we're like, and we just could not believe it. It was a very starstruck moment. It's just something.
I went to an exhibition that Phil did in Exeter, Riley's in Exeter, because Exeter's only like half hour from where I live. And it was the night after he had just hit the 2-9 darters when he beat James Wade in the final.
Yeah, poor James Wade.
Yeah. Seems a really nice guy. I think he retired from like all the pro tour and everything the year that I got my tour card. So obviously that year he lost in the World Championship final to Rob Cross.
Yeah.
And gutted I never had a chance to play him like in a competitive match. Really, that'd been nice to just say that you played him.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he's doing a lot of exhibitions and stuff like that, and obviously as your profile increases and stuff like that, maybe you get more opportunities to do some of the things like that. I'm not sure how the PDC commitments and things how they allow you to do those, but yeah, I think it'd be
maybe.
Yeah. Who do you think's the most underrated player?
Most underrated player. I had the answer to that question the other day. Who was I saying it was? Who was it?
You played against them?
Probably have. I think this isn't the one, but I think Steve West was one. Very good player, Steve West, when he's on it.
Yeah.
No, I can't think.
Because I mean, you get players like Corey Cadby, who comes in as obviously a character, and straight away, you know, the attention's on them. But then you get some of these people who just quietly go, you know, you for example, probably, you know, if we're looking a few years back, we're thinking, oh, you know, this guy's just quietly going about his way, and probably you were some people's answers as well. So,
yeah,
generally the quieter ones you sort of keep to themselves, and
yeah, I don't make a song and dance about, you know, what I do or anything. I just turn up and play my game, really. So, yeah.
Who is the best in practice out of the Loxley boys?
Best in practice out of the Loxley boys? Me.
Aaron said you would say that. He says that it's in practice because he doesn't have, you know, you guys are all good fun, so he's just all relaxed. So I think.
Did he tell you about our little 61 game we play?
No.
Well, we play a game where you've got to take out 61 in 3 darts. If you take it out in 3 darts, you jump up 5, so you go from 61 to 66. This
might have been the game that he maybe didn't mention it like that, but he said, you know, that we play this practice thing, and I get like, you know, 8 out of 11 or 12 or something. Like, come on, boys, doing all the work here.
Oh, don't know about that. He's absolutely. To be fair to him, the first time we played it, he must have stood in something because he was hitting all sorts of bullseye finishes, like really dirty bullseye finishes. But yeah, that's a good game. That is. If you don't hit it, you go back 1, and then when you get past 100, if you miss, that's it. You've got to start again from 61. So I think we got to 136 or something the very first time we played it, which is like a really, really high score. That's really hard to beat. So.
Yeah.
Cool, that. We have a bit of fun playing that. Nothing too serious. So.
I think we need to definitely get a session recorded and see. Well, I'll see if I can get a behind-the-scenes practice and banter. That's it from the questions. Look, you've been an absolute star. I can't thank you enough for obviously taking the time to talk to me today, especially as obviously we're around the corner. But I think people will love hearing about you and give them even more reason to cheer you on at the World Championships. So thanks again. And if you wouldn't mind advising people what they should do right now after watching this video, which is subscribe to LoveDarts.
Subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and the notification bell. How about that?
You've done this before.
How about that? I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. A lot of time in the hotel room.
Honestly, I didn't prompt him to do that. He's experienced in his own right. Thanks again, everyone, and remember, love darts.